Hello everyone, in this video I will do a breakdown of the raid mechanics for the Murong Yuan Boss in Heroes Realm. This boss is part of the current Heroes Realm challenge and will be a part of almost all the future challenges, so it is very important that you learn all of its mechanics and share your knowledge with others so that everyone can have a smoother experience. This boss is extremely difficult because it has mechanics that require super tight cooperation between the party members. You can't carry this one by yourself even if you know how to play all the mechanics. I can't tell you the amount of frustration and failed attempts I have experienced while playing with others and trying to teach them the mechanics. This raid boss is different from the Sleeping Taoist in the sense that you are essentially fighting two enemies at a time, although only one has a health bar, which is Murong Yuan. The wooden bird has its own attacks and mechanics, and some of them are done independently from Murong Yuan, and they will not have the usual attack callout in the middle of the screen, so you will have to pay attention to the bird to prepare for its attacks. All the attacks initiated by Murong Yuan will be called out by the text in the middle of the screen, so those are easy to prepare for. The only key mechanic for this boss that is not really explained too well is the exploding barrel mechanic. This mechanic is the source of 90% of the failed runs and why players are flaming each other non-stop. I even had people accusing me of trolling and trying to kick me out of the party for trying to play this mechanic correctly and help us clear the raid, which is just ridiculous. There are a few very important things you must understand about the exploding barrels. Number 1, these barrels have an explosion radius around them which is not displayed. When two or more barrels are within range of each other, this will be called out by red text in the middle of the screen, telling you how many barrels are in range of each other, which means how many barrels will cause chain explosions. When barrels are in the explosion range of other barrels, they start flashing red and they are now called dangerous explosive barrels, which means they deal much more damage than regular barrels and in a larger radius. If you see the red text on the screen saying there are two or more dangerous barrels, you have to immediately find them and move them away from each other until they stop flashing red and the red text disappears. If one of those barrels explodes, all the other ones in range will also explode, from the various attacks done either by the bird or by Murong Yuan. Usually, if your team is full health, you should be able to tank two dangerous explosive barrels, but anything more than that is guaranteed to wipe your team, and even two barrels can be dangerous if you have people who are low on health in the party. Number 2, which is an even more important aspect, it's not enough to simply move barrels away from each other until they are no longer dangerous, because when the Sea of Fire attack hits, it will explode all the barrels on the field that are caught in its attack range, which covers about 80% of the arena. This attack will wipe your team if there are too many dangerous barrels in the attack area, no matter how far you are from them. You're most likely fine if there are 2 of them and you have healing, but try to avoid having 3 or more. In order to avoid running out of space to move barrels when the Sea of Fire attacks, you have to explode barrels during each possible mechanic on purpose in order to maintain their numbers very low. Barrels will constantly drop from the sky, so you have to also constantly blow them up to avoid filling the whole arena with barrels and getting wiped. Now that we have explained the most important mechanic, let's break down each of Murong Yuan and the bird's attacks and see how to play the mechanics perfectly. Before we get started, there is another thing you need to understand, which is that there are 2 types of attacks based on their color. Murong Yuan's attacks have red attack areas and the bird's attacks have orange attack areas. You and your whole team should try to always parry red attacks to deal more stagger and chi damage to the boss. When it comes to orange attacks from the bird, you should always avoid the area of attack, but you should always try to place 1 barrel in the attack area to make it explode and clear up some space. Let's start with the first attack, which is called Coward. This is a red AoE attack that starts by marking a large red circle on the ground and then dealing a series of slashes after the channeling duration is over. The attack lasts until the channeling bar is empty again. You want to either avoid the area or try to parry the attack, whichever you prefer. The second attack, which is one of the most dangerous ones, is called Summon Firebird. This attack starts by marking an area on the ground with a pointing red arrow, and when the channeling bar is full, the bird spawns in that location while also dropping a couple of barrels next to it, which automatically become dangerous barrels. You have to either kill the bird before the orange area around it fills up, remove all the dangerous barrels from the area, or both. Ideally, you want to kill the bird quickly or let it live and leave 1 barrel inside the orange area, which means it will explode when the attack area fills up. Whatever you do, do not have dangerous barrels inside the attack area. Another attack is the Army Breaker. This one is similar to the Coward attack. Instead, Murong Yuan marks the player who has aggro, and after a short delay will dash to them and perform a series of AoE attacks. This is another red attack that can be either parried or dodged by the targeted player. Moving on to the most dangerous attack there is, which is a two-part attack. This is the Sea of Fire attack that I mentioned earlier in the video, and it starts with Sea of Fire command. This is when a large portion of the arena from one end to the other, about 80% of it, is marked in an orange area. At the same time, a bunch of barrels will drop from the sky in random areas, some of them being close to each other or to the other barrels. After the short channeling is over, the bird starts scanning the entire area and you will see an orange line going over the whole marked area from one end to the other. The attack name will now change to Sea of Fire. Once this line reaches the other end, the bird will spit fire and detonate all explosive barrels located inside the orange area. First off, do not panic and start quickly moving all the dangerous barrels away from each other, especially in the small area outside of the orange area. You have time to move the barrels until the orange line reaches the other end of the orange area, so there is plenty of time, but you can't do this alone. Each player in the party should participate here and move some barrels. If you leave just 2 dangerous barrels, you might survive, but 3 or more and you will probably get wiped. This is why it's crucial to ensure you have a lot of free space in the arena before this attack happens, so that you can quickly move dangerous barrels into safe spaces. If the arena is full of barrels when this attack starts, you have no chance to move all of them before the attack starts, so it's better to get rid of them as early as possible. Make sure you stand outside of the orange area when the bird is about to launch fire, because you will take a lot of damage if you stand in the scorched ground or if you get hit by the fire. At this point, everyone should gather in the safe area and all the healers should drop their heals on the ground to ensure everyone survives this. Another simple attack is the Cherry Blossom Dance. This is almost identical to the Coward attack. Murong Yuan will mark an area on the ground with red, and after a short time will start doing AoE slashes while moving towards the area. Simply move out of the way or parry them. One other attack is called Blazing Edge. This is where Murong Yuan lights her sword on fire. While her sword is burning, if she comes in contact with a barrel, it will make it explode. You can use this to your advantage to clear out a lot of barrels that are not dangerous yet. The player that has aggro must lead Murong Yuan close to single barrels to make them explode. Another attack that can become a potential party wipe is the Severance attack. This is when Murong Yuan enters a sword clash with the current player that has aggro and she gains a shield. You have 20 seconds to break the shield, during which the player that is in the sword clash with her will take damage continuously. There are 3 possible outcomes to this attack. If the player that is in the sword clash dies before you destroy the shield, the entire party gets wiped. If you fail to destroy the shield in time, the party gets wiped. If you destroy the shield before the timer runs out and before the targeted player dies, you have successfully completed the mechanic. Healers must pay close attention here to keep healing the targeted player, and all DPS must be focused on the boss. Now that we are essentially done with all the main attacks, there are 4 more attacks that are not being called out by name because they are mostly done by the bird alone. One attack is when the bird targets 3 random players with 3 orange circles and after a short duration throws fireballs at them. You should take this opportunity to quickly run near a single barrel and make it explode to clear the area. Another attack done by the bird is when you can see it stop in a certain location in the air as it prepares to attack in front of it. A long rectangular orange area will appear in front of the bird and it will start filling up. After the duration is over, the bird will throw fire across that entire area. You should take advantage of this slow attack to place one single barrel in the area and make it explode to get rid of it. One other attack is when a single barrel spawns a circular orange area around it, and when it fills up it will explode. You can just ignore this attack and let it explode if the barrel is not a dangerous one. When it comes to the bird, as long as you can't see it in your camera view, you don't really have to worry about it, but when you can see it, it's most likely preparing to attack. And with this we have covered all the raid mechanics for Murong Yuan. I hope this video helps you complete this raid easier, and make sure to share this knowledge with other players to avoid frustration and avoid failing too many runs. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.